Yo, what is going on, good people? How are we doing today? So, just to let everybody know straight off the bat, Nick is in Vegas. He's in Vegas for the Eagles Raiders game. So I don't know if he's gonna be popping in. He might be popping in. I hope he does. And I hope he's already drunk. Let's be real. But so I'm riding solo today. So I don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of, so I might be bouncing ideas off of the chat, so I'd appreciate it if you guys would be interactive with me today. Thank you for everybody who's already posted questions. Thank you for everybody that's in the waiting room. Matthew Gainey, let's get it started off. Mike Davis or Alex Collins? That's tough. Let's see who they're playing. Atlanta's got Miami, and Seattle has got New Orleans. So let's go to this defense versus running back stats. New Orleans is the second best team in the NFL right now against running backs. They only allow 18.1 fantasy points to running backs over the last 6 games, and Miami is fourth worst. They allow 26.5 fantasy points to running backs. So I would go with whoever's playing Miami. So that's Mike Davis. And yeah, I think the numbers support that going Mike Davis over Alex Collins there. What's going on, Bender? What's up? Thank you for joining us. Anthony Garcia, what's going on? I like the energy. Danny Boy, hey, let me just get to Danny Boy's question right quick, because he says that he's about to go to bed, works the night shift. Respect to you, dude. Mecole Hardman or Rashad Bateman? I think I'd go Rashad Bateman because I believe that Sammy Watkins is out again, which is going to open up targets for Rashad Bateman once again to be heavily utilized. He was utilized on 66% of snaps in the first game back. And while he didn't light up the box score and the one drop resulted in an interception, I think they're going to use him early and often, and I think he's going to have a full-time role. So I would go Rashad Bateman, Danny Boy. But thanks for your question. Let's start back up at the top. Kyle Nohe, what's going on? Good morning. A.J. Brown or Chris Godwin? Stacked at wide receiver. 10-man league. I think it's an A.J. Brown week. I know he had food poisoning, had some bad Chipotle, but on the contrary, I do believe that AB is out. Is he not? Wow. AB's out. Gronkowski's out. I think I got to go Chris Godwin over A.J. Brown for one more week here. Just because of the vacancies in that offense, I think they're going to go to Chris Godwin early and often. He's going to be one of Tom Brady's favorite targets this week. So I'd go Chris Godwin over A.J. Brown, even though it's hard to sit A.J. Brown this week. I think it's going to be a good week for A.J. Brown as well. But I hope that helps. Thanks for your question. Anthony Garcia, once again, love the energy. What's up? PPR, CPET, Damian Williams are my RB1 and RB2 flexes. Wood, should I leave as is or flex Gibby or sit Woods for Hubbard? All right. Darrell Williams, CPAT, RB1, RB2. Should you flex in Gibby over Darrell Williams or Woods? Because Woods is the flex there, right? Let me see who Washington is playing. Green Bay. And Green Bay is pretty middle of the pack against running backs. They are giving opposing running backs 21.3 fantasy points per game. And I think they're going to use him if he's playing. Do you play him over Darrell Williams, who's going to get the full-time role? Darrell Williams is playing Tennessee. And Tennessee is also middle of the pack, but they're giving opposing running backs a little bit less, 19.2. So I would go Gibson over Darrell Williams there. CPAT and Gibson. And you got Woods, Darrell Williams, or Hubbard there in your flex. Damn. PPR. Is it crazy that I think I go Hubbard? I think I go Hubbard there. And I'm going to see if I can pull up a stat for you. If not, I'm sorry. One-man show here, you guys. Apologies. Actually, I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to come back to that flex question, Anthony. Sorry, dude. Just a lot of questions piling up, and I will circle back to that. But thank you for your question. And RB1, RB2, for sure I would start CPAT and Gibson. Danny Boy, already got to your question. Thanks again for your question. Yeah, man, running solo today. Hopefully Nick will pop in a little bit later, but I mean it is 7 o'clock over there, and it's his first day in Vegas. So I don't know if we're gonna be seeing too much from Nick today. But Bender, thank you, appreciate it. Slim74, what's going on? Ramondre or Royce Freeman? Is Tyson active? I believe Tyson will be active. I don't have news on that, but I believe Tyson will be active because Latavius Murray is out. So they're going to have another back active just out of necessity. Between Ramondre or Royce Freeman, the team did just go out and sign Amir Abdullah, and I don't know if that is more of a special teams move or a running back depth move. I'm inclined to go Ramondre there. Regardless of really the settings, whether it's half PPR, standard, or PPR. I would go Ramondre there. But I believe Tyson will be active. I don't have any definitive news on that. John Wagner, thanks for joining us. Ruggs or Hardman, half PPR for flex. I think it's easy. You go Ruggs there. Ruggs has been one of the best receivers in the league. Through 6 games, and he's one of the league leaders in air yards, which is something to chase, unless your name is DJ Chark, because he was getting a ton of air yards before going down, but he was not productive. But Ruggs has been, so chase Ruggs and go Ruggs there. Eduardo Tovar, what's going on? Hunter Henry or OJ Howard? It could be another OJ Howard week. It absolutely could be another OJ Howard week with, again, both Gronk and Antonio Brown out. Hunter Henry's been on a streak, and I think you follow the streak versus the might catch a touchdown guy. I mean, OJ Howard, outside of last game, has done largely nothing for the good part of a few years. So I would go Hunter Henry just because he's put together a few solid games. It hasn't just been a one-off for him. He's been one of Mac Jones's favorite targets, and I think you chase Hunter Henry there. Satanta Landers, what's going on? You retracted your message. You got to put another one in there. You did, and I'll get to yours down below. Thanks for joining us. I know you're I believe you were from Ireland. Yeah, you said it. Dublin, Ireland. Yeah. What's going on, bro? Get to your question in a sec. Slim74, Carter gashed the Patriots week 2. Mitchell still starts over Carter. Still right. I believe so. He's the number 1 back for Shanahan for until further notice. I know Jermichael Hasty is due to be back, but he should see scaled back touches in his first game back. They're not going to give him even his full-time role for what his role was. I do think Elisha Mitchell, who's handled 99% of the running back snaps over the past few weeks, is the play there over Michael Carter, even though Michael Carter has taken over the Jets backfield and has looked pretty good of late. Slim Reaper with the hashtag. What's going on? Todd Meebane, how do you feel about Pittman this week? No Ty or Campbell. Yo, I love Pittman. I'm playing Pittman in one of my most important keeper leagues, the oldest league that I'm in, the league that got me started in fantasy football. I'm playing Pittman this week in my flex, and I feel pretty good about it. So regardless of the matchup there, he's going to be the number 1 target and the number 2 target, let's be real, for Carson Wentz. So I feel really good about Pittman this week. Tone Exter, 15. Freeman or Bateman or D. Parker in the flex. Well, Devontae Parker might not play. Last I checked, I saw some news on Devontae Parker. Let me get it straight from the source. Devontae Parker hamstring shoulder appears to have an uphill battle to play in week 7 against the Falcons. And that was 8:16 this morning. So Devontae Parker is out for me, and I'll continue to monitor what's going on with him and whether or not he plays. But it looks like, again, uphill battle, and I'm quoting the article. So it's really between Freeman or Bateman, and I'm going Bateman. I am pretty high on Bateman this week, and were it not for me having Pittman, I'd be probably playing Bateman in the flex in that keeper league because I have Bateman too. It's hard for me to sit Bateman this week. I am really high on his future prospects. And Savvy, I need upside this week. Well, all right. Who should I start? Flex PPR, Callaway, Hardman, AJ Green, Kirk, or Ramondre Stevenson. Uphill battle against, Hopkins and Adams. So conventional wisdom would be to go with the guy who's the number 1 there. And the only number 1 you have in that group, as far as the wide receivers go, is Callaway, but he hasn't been performing like it. For me, and I know you're going up against Hopkins, so it's kind of like you're I don't know what the analogy is there, but you're going with another Cardinal here. I would go either AJ Green or Christian Kirk. And AJ Green, while he's not somebody I've been high on in the past, he's been getting number 2 wide receiver snaps in Arizona all year. And I never thought that I'd be recommending a start for AJ Green, but I think we're at that point because he's averaged, I think, 7 targets a game in every game this season. And as of late, he's really kind of heated up. And injury was always the question with him. It's, how long can he stay healthy? And I believe as long as he's healthy, he can be a high-end wide receiver 3 with the high-end wide receiver 2 upside. So if you're looking for upside, I think you go either AJ Green or Christian Kirk. And I think you go AJ Green. I don't think you go Ramondre Stevenson here. But yeah, that's my and I wish I had Nick to bounce this off of, because and I think that he would go AJ Green too, because he was somebody who was in on AJ Green last week, and I was kind of fighting him on it. So I think you go AJ Green. And you hope for a throwback performance. You know what I mean? So, hey, Marcus Brown, what's going on? Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. All right, let's get back to this next question. Thanks for your question, and Savvy. And I hope he pulls through. And I hope you win. And I'm not hoping for a dud week from Hopkins or Adams, because I'm relying on both of them in multiple leagues. But I hope AJ Green can be 2013 AJ Green for you. You know what I mean? Slim Reaper, Gaskin, Stevenson, Gainwell, or Elijah Mitchell. I'm all the way off on Gaskin. And Stevenson, despite the increased role, is still a role player in that offense. And for Philadelphia, Gainwell, I mean, it's just not looking good for Philadelphia right now. I'm actually working on a video as we speak. Sorry about this helicopter noise. There's just a helicopter going by. I'm doing I recorded the audio already for a video on Miles Sanders, and it's about how Miles Sanders has a great schedule moving forward. Gainwell's been a hot name because of the way he's started off the first 4 games, really. But in last game, and it was against the Bucks, but the Eagles at halftime, Miles Sanders had 1 rush for 1 yard. And then after halftime, he started really gashing the Bucks, and he outtouched Kenneth Gainwell 11-1 over the last half of that game. And I think that carries over. I'm not down on Gainwell. I think he's a great talent, and I think he has a great future, and I think he's going to continue to be a high-end RB4 with RB3 upside. But his usage has dipped in past weeks. So I would go Elijah Mitchell there because he's going to have the largest workload. And honestly, he plays in a better offense than Philadelphia right now. And Miami's up in the air too. So yeah, I would go Elijah Mitchell, and I hope it works out for you this week. And this is again another question that I kind of wish I had Nick to bounce ideas off of, because I think he'd go Elijah Mitchell too, but I know he has some better insight into the Philadelphia situation because he's an Eagles fan, and I know he's been a proponent of, or he's really liked Ramondre Stevenson over the past week. As a start of the week, he was contemplating doing a video on Ramondre Stevenson for start of the week, but he didn't get around to it because he's in Las Vegas. So yeah, he's out there having fun. All right, Satanta, finally getting to your question. Thank you for joining us from Dublin, Ireland. That's too cool. Damian Williams back from Fab, so need to drop a player. Do I take him off the IR? Would you drop Ayuk, Slayton, or Damian Williams? Honestly, I'd drop Slayton. I know Khalil Herbert has done a great job filling in as the number 1 for Chicago, but I don't think with Damian Williams back, he continues to handle the majority of touches. I think it goes back to being, at worst, a 60-40 split, or at worst, in favor of Khalil Herbert, but I think Damian Williams will still have value. So I would keep Damian Williams. I would keep Ayuk. I would probably drop Slayton there. And that is, yeah, I'd probably drop Slayton there. Oh, Slim, it was start 2. Oh, shit. Shoot, sorry. Then I would probably go Elijah Mitchell and Ramondre Stevenson. I think that's what I would go with. And yo, Chris, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. Let me get to your question right quick. Bateman, Callaway, or Crowder full PPR? I think I'm going Bateman there. Just because, again, I love the workload that he saw in his first game back. 66% of offensive snaps. He was utilized. He had 5 targets. He caught 4 of them, I believe. Or maybe it was 6 targets and he caught 5. But Lamar Jackson looked for him early and often. Lamar Jackson has been throwing more often than ever in his career. He's on pace for more than 500 attempts, and his career high in the past was just above 400. So he's on pace for literally 100 more attempts through the air this season. So there's a ton of more work to go around. So whereas you might not have thought that a Ravens number 2 wide receiver would really have fantasy value, just because they rely so heavily on rushing in the past, or they have. And they have, obviously, Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown there. I think now we have to start changing that narrative, because 500 pass attempts is like Matt Ryan level. And he's led the league in pass attempts multiple times. So, we're seeing a whole different Baltimore offense, a whole different Lamar Jackson, and I think that is really good for Bateman. I would go Bateman there. But thank you for the super chat, and sorry again for the helicopter. Sorry. And thank you for everybody that's in here. Appreciate you. I'm sorry. I'm kind of fumbling my way through this. Normally, I do have another co-host here, and he is not here. He is in Vegas, enjoying himself. Let's get to this next question. Sorry about that, Slim. There you go. But Ryan O'Mara, pick 3 full PPR: Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Cordarrelle Patterson, or Darrell Williams. I think the odd man out there is Darrell Williams. I think you go with your 3 studs thus far. Darrell Williams, he had a great game last game. I believe it was above 20 fantasy points in most scoring settings. But I would go with Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, and Cordarrelle Patterson there, because they've been their track records are longer. Yeah, Slim 47, Devontae Freeman, not oh, okay. Sorry. All right, let me go back up to your question, yo. Ramondre Stevenson or Devontae Freeman? My answer is still Ramondre. I know Devonta might get is due to get more touches in this Ravens offense, and I guess he's looked okay. Damn. Wow, am I gonna? I think I gotta advise to start Devonta Freeman here, because I don't know how this workload is gonna break down in the Ravens offense, but it does. I guess he's gonna be the number 1 there for this week. Wow. All right. Yeah. Okay. Never thought I'd be advocating starting Devontae Freeman in 2021, but I believe in that situation. I'm advising starting Devontae Freeman. Wow. Sorry about that, Slim. Jorge Colon. Should I pick up Devonta Freeman for Marlon Mack? Yeah, if you need to start this week. I mean, Marlon Mack, he might get traded within the next few days, but if you need to start this week, pick him up, start him, and then maybe drop him right away. And then maybe somebody wastes a spot on him next week, and then you can pick up Marlon Mack because he'll be a little cheaper, something like that. But if you need a spot for the week, pick up Devonta Freeman, start him. He could have RB2 upside, just because literally anybody in this offense who's getting the running back 1 touches is a threat to get RB2 value by the end of the day. Yeah, though I do like Marlon Mack, and I do hope he gets traded. I don't know who to. We have a video on that if you want to check that out on our channel, but yeah. I think I answered that one. Luke Uriarte, what's going on? Are you at all scared of Edmonds' snap share decrease and the game script this week? If so, would you start Corey Davis or Ramondre over him? Who do the Cardinals have? Arizona is going against Houston. And now, yeah, I know James Conner has been involved a lot. But Houston is giving up an average of 23.9 fantasy points to opposing running backs. I think Chase Edmonds is still involved here. Now that I'm thinking about that, yeah. Would you start Corey Davis or Ramondre over him? Damn, I wish Nick was here. I could bounce this off of him, because this is a tough one. I'm not really scared of Edmonds' snap count share because he's good, and he gets targets, and that's what you chase as at the running back position. Chase Edmonds is the guy that you chase at the running back position. Do you start Corey Davis, the number 1 receiver for the Jets, over him? The Jets are playing New England. I might start Corey Davis over him. I would start Corey Davis over him, Luke. They don't have Stephon Gilmore anymore, so they're a lot more attackable through the air. So that is a big upgrade for whoever's matched up against Corey Davis, for Corey Davis. You know, so I would go Corey Davis there, but I'm not scared moving forward of the Edmonds snap share decrease. I will throw that out there. Larams23, thanks for joining us. What's going on? Good morning. In PPR, who are you playing? Collins, likely limited role. Gainwell or Stevenson from the Patriots? I mean, I think you go Collins because maybe limited role, but I mean, we all know that a limited role on the Seahawks means you're getting a fair amount of touches because they run a lot. They're gonna try to shield Geno Smith from having to do too much. Let's look at who Seattle is playing. New Orleans. Ooh, that's a tough matchup for running backs. New Orleans is giving up an average of 18.1 fantasy points to opposing running backs. So we're not going to be expecting a lot from Collins, but I think he's going to get the biggest role. Gainwell is tough. His snap counts have talk about a running back whose snap counts have decreased over the past few weeks. That Gainwell is that guy. So to me, it's really between Ramondre Stevenson or Alex Collins. And I think we go Alex Collins here. No, I'm going to switch up because I know Ramondre playing the Jets. The Jets are, let me look. They're giving up a fair amount of running back fantasy points to running backs, 28.7 fantasy points to opposing running backs through 5 weeks. So, yeah, I guess you go Ramondre. Yeah. All right. Where were we? Slim Reaper, Gallup, or Bateman rest of season. I think Bateman. Just because Gallup's coming back from an injury and how he fits into this offense is still kind of up in the air because he is the third option, and we have seen Cedric Wilson do fine in his absence, and the reliance on the other tight ends. I mean, they have a lot of options in this offense. I'm high on Gallup's rest of career because I think either whoever they let go from Dallas, he's either going to get a more increased role in Dallas and be their number 2, or he's going to go elsewhere and be somebody's number 2 or number 1. So rest of career, I'm high on Gallup. This season, I'm more high on Bateman. Is that weird? I feel like I'm a little bit too down on Gallup, but yeah, recency bias has me going Bateman. Sorry. Stevenson or Mitchell, half PPR. Michelle, Sony Michelle, not Mitchell. Yo, Lance, appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Yo, we'll get back to your question. Durko04, sorry, gotta go straight for the super chat. Thanks again, Lance Hillis. Tanking this week to pick up free agents right now since bye week and injuries. One slot. Should I pick up Kadarius Toney, Rob Gronkowski, Jarvis Landry? Is that Emmanuel Sanders or Rashad Bateman? Need flex depth. What's your team look like? Put your team in the chat. Put your team in the chat. Let's dig deep into this question since you were generous with the super chat. Put your whole squad in the chat and chat. Join in with me. I need your help too with this one because there's a lot going on here. Kadarius Toney is a guy that I think can be a wide receiver 2 rest of season if he comes back healthy, considering the other injuries that this team has sustained at the pass catcher position, and the fact that he's electric. And we saw him get 13 targets against Dallas, and he delivered against Trayvon Diggs, which is no small feat. Oh, and that's Miles Sanders. All right, so now we got to get into Miles Sanders too, because over the last 5 weeks, let me pull this up. He started the season against the Falcons. Had a boom, not a boom week, but at least an RB2 week. But then over the past 5 weeks, he has played the Niners, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Panthers, and the Bucks. The Panthers are last in fantasy points, or first in fantasy points against for running backs. The Bucks are third. The Niners are eighth. The Cowboys are ninth. And the Chiefs are middle of the road, but they force running backs into pass-heavy scripts that typically don't feature running backs. So the past 5 weeks, Miles Sanders has had it rough. Not only has his coaching staff just not given him touches, the defenses that he's been facing have all been top 10 in fantasy points against. So it's tough, but in the next couple of matchups, let's go through this here. Well, today they got the Raiders, 13th worst to fantasy points against. They averaged 23.1 to opposing running backs. Then they got the Lions, averaging 29.6 fantasy points to running backs. They're the worst in the league. And then the Eagles got the Chargers. They rank 5th worst, averaging 26.3 fantasy points to running backs. Then they got the Broncos. They're 9th best, so that's a tough matchup, averaging 18.8. And I know I'm digging deep into this, but hear me out. Saints then, next game, 8th best, 18.1. So that's a 2-game stretch that is going to be tough for Sanders. And then he gets the Jets, who rank 2nd worst, 28.7 average to opposing running backs. Then Washington football team, 9th worst, 23.6 fantasy points average to opposing running backs. Then the Giants, 7th worst, 25.2 fantasy points to opposing running backs. And then Washington football team. So Miles Sanders has one of the best schedules for opposing running backs over the next few weeks. So Miles Sanders is a buy right now, and I was in the process of doing a video on this, but there's a sneak peek on how I think Miles Sanders' rest of season is going to go. So if you have Miles Sanders and you can pick him up, I think he's going to return RB2 value rest of season. I don't think he's going to do enough to be an RB2 by season's end. I think that these first 6 games are going to weigh his total down. And I believe he's RB38 right now through 6 weeks. So if anybody out there can buy low on Miles Sanders, I mean, do it. I believe these next few games for Miles Sanders are going to be a lot better. Maybe not RB1, maybe not high-end RB2, but he's at least going to return you RB2 value versus what he's been doing RB4 value. So I'm pretty high on Miles Sanders. So out of those guys, I would pick up Miles Sanders. If it was Emmanuel, we'd have to talk. But those are other great options there. And let me look at the rest of your squad here. You got Burrow, Sutton, Julio Jones, Darrell Henderson, Elijah Mitchell, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Booker, Waller, Barkley, Prescott, Lamb, Kareem Hunt, Cook, Michael Thomas on IR. Wow. All right. I mean, I almost wish I could drop Devontae Booker for one of these guys that's on the wire too. That's tough because I know you need him because Barkley and Hunt are out, but you got to keep Booker because he's the number 1 there. But I wish that I wish I could drop him and pick up another guy because that is a good list of guys to pick from. I mean, Gronk, TE1 when he comes back, Bateman, but I would go Miles Sanders there because I think running back position is a position of need always. And right now it's a position of need for you if you're playing Devontae Booker and if you have Barkley and Hunt and Cook on, so yeah, I'll go Miles Sanders there. But sorry for the rant there. Let me get back to this Durko04 question. Thank you again for the super chat, Lance Hillis. Appreciate it. Yeah, and Slim agrees. I'm hitting my mic. Slim agrees with me. His schedule gets real light. So, back to this Durko04 question. Stevenson or Michelle half PPR? Who are the Rams playing? Detroit. And we already know the Patriots are playing the Jets. I would go Stevenson because Daryl Henderson has commanded pretty much an RB1 workload. Sony Michel has really been relegated since Daryl Henderson has come back from injury to being a clear-cut number 2 on that team, I believe. So I would go Ramondre Stevenson there, just because, I mean, the matchup. Playing the Jets, they're terrible against the run, so, or at least in fantasy points average to running backs. All right, let's get to it. Who's next? Yo, Lance, bro, thank you, appreciate it. $15, jeez. All right, well, yo, throw another question to us for that. Appreciate. Hey, thanks for supporting the channel. And throw us another question, bro. Or us. I'm royal we. I'm so used to having Nick here. Throw me another question, bro. Throw me another question, for real. But thank you so much. That's generous as hell, dude. Thank you so much. Durko04, Stevenson or Michelle? Stevenson. Ryan Righteous of Track Stars. Like that name. How about Mike Davis or Michael Carter in my RB slot? Or Callaway, I'm guessing, or Slayton in the flex. This week, I'm not a huge fan of Slayton, but I think he's last man standing, is he not? I believe he's last man standing. Let me check the injury report for the Giants there. I know Kadarius is out, and I know, wasn't Evan Ingram out too? Darius Slayton is expected to play against the Panthers. Sterling Shepard is a game-time decision. Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney sidelined. John Ross is also expected to play. So yeah, his target competition looks like it's going to be John Ross. So pay attention, and we'll pay attention here. Keep hitting my mic. We'll pay attention here to whether or not Sterling Shepard. When's he playing? When are the Giants playing? 1 o'clock. So we'll know before kickoff if Sterling Shepard is going to be playing, and if he is playing, I'd go the other way. But if he isn't playing, I guess I would go. I would go Slayton, even though I'm not very high on him. Where were we? Lost my place in the chat. Sorry about that. But you had a second part to your question. Mike Davis or Michael Carter? Mike Davis is playing Miami, and I believe they are worse against the run than who Michael Carter is playing in New England. Let's check these stats. Miami is 4th worst. Yep, 26.5 fantasy points to opposing running backs, and New England is 19.4. So they're around the 20. They're around 20. Thank you for subscribing, NEI 206. Appreciate it. Let's get back to it. So yeah, I guess I would go Mike Davis there. I think he's gonna get. He's always been getting a fair amount of work, and when he's been playing defenses he can be opportunistic against, he has been. He's capitalized. So I guess I would go Mike Davis, even though it's not exciting. John Wagner, hey, you're welcome. I think Ruggs is going to be a good start this week and moving forward. I think he's really changed the narrative on how people felt about him. Everybody thought he was a bust, first round bust, but this year he has shown the best, I would say, outside of like maybe Hunter Renfrow. I mean, he's shown just as much rapport with Derek Carr as Darren Waller has. And I believe Darren Waller's not going to play this week. Darren Waller, ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Darren Waller ankle doesn't feel great and will not know if he's going to be able to play until pregame warm-ups. So that's something, again, that we will we'll monitor for you. But that's huge. So yeah, Ruggs everywhere. To everybody in here who has Ruggs everywhere. Start him. But you got one more John Wagner, Myers, Renfro, or Allen Robinson at wide receiver. See, I don't think the Patriots are going to need, sorry about the helicopter. I don't think the Patriots are going to need Myers a ton this week to beat the Jets. I don't think it's going to be like, I think it might be a run first game plan. Renfro is always involved. Renfro is at least a flex option moving forward always. So it's crazy to think that safe play here is Renfro. But if obviously you're going for upside, you want to start Allen Robinson. So who are you? Throw in the chat if you're going for safety or if you're going for upside. And that'll help make a little bit more of a clear distinction. And is it the same league you're playing Ruggs in? So are you going to have a Ruggs and Renfro stack if you play Renfro? Let me know. Marcus Brown, thank you again for the 99 cents. Appreciate it. Thank you again for being here. You're always here, bro. Appreciate you always. Thank you for the question. Do you think Hasty will gets any work today? I'm not starting him, but just curious. Picked him up. I think he gets some work. And I always, me and Nick appreciate you always supporting the channel. So thank you as always, Marcus. Nick Hobie, pick 2. Robert Woods, DK Metcalf, T. Higgins, Elijah Mitchell, full PPR. I think you go Woods at Metcalf. I know Metcalf has Geno Smith thrown to him, but I mean he's still the #1 target, and he's still a beast. So I think you got to go Metcalf there easily. And I know Cooper Kupp has reasserted himself in the past few weeks as the #1 option for Stafford, but I mean Woods is still good, and when he gets the targets, he's still a touchdown producer. So I guess I'd go Woods. It'd be between Woods and Elijah Mitchell for me. Full PPR, I think I'd go Woods. Marcus Brown, you got another question here. Also, who do you like more, AJ Brown or Waddle this week? Both have pretty good matchups. Nick really likes Jalen Waddle this week. Jalen Waddle goes against Atlanta. Let's switch this running back fantasy points against to wide receiver fantasy points against and dig into this one a little bit. Going against Miami. Fantasy points against. Miami is bottom 4 in that too. Wow. 36.6 fantasy points against average to opposing wide receivers. That's 4th worst. And Tennessee is going to get up against KC. And KC's middle of the pack, 29.3 fantasy points averaged. So, I mean, that's almost 7 full points. I would go Miami. I would go whoever's playing Miami. So I would go, you were talking about Atlanta. I'm sorry. So Atlanta and the Chiefs are pretty evenly matched up here. Atlanta's still giving up more fantasy points. 33.6 as opposed to the Chiefs 29.3. I guess I would go Waddle, just because again they don't. I'd go Waddle. I know Brown had a good week last week, and I know Brown feels weird sitting Brown, but I think I'd go Waddle. And I really wish I'd have Nick here to bounce this one off of. Let me check if Julio Jones is active. Does any? Tough one. Julio Jones is optimistic he's going to play in week 7. I think I'm switching. You got to go AJ Brown. It's going to be a shootout against the Chiefs. I think we fantasy points average to opposing running backs goes out the window. I wasn't thinking on that one. AJ Brown. Easy. AJ Brown. Quinn Math, yo, good morning. Good morning. Where in Canada, bro? Where in Canada? My parents used to live in Canada. Spent a few years in Toronto. I used to visit him up in Toronto. Love Toronto. Toronto's one of the coolest cities I've ever been in. I've also got to chill in Montreal a little bit. I'm probably butchering the name and the pronunciation, but Montreal, I loved visiting Montreal there too. So let me know where you're from in Canada, bro. You got a question for us? Huh? I don't see a question here. You got to throw a question in the chat, bro. But thank you for joining us from Canada. Molly G, what's going on? Full PPR, need 2. Chris Godwin, DK Metcalf, or Darrell Williams? Chris Godwin and DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is, again, wide receiver 1 right now for the Seattle Seahawks. And I know it's Geno Smith and it's not Russell Wilson. But I think he's going to get fed targets. I really do. And I know Darrell Williams had a 20-point plus matchup last week, and he could replicate it again. I think I go DK Metcalf and Chris Godwin, and I'm going Chris Godwin there as a clear start because Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown are out. So Chris Godwin's a clear start there, and I'd go DK Metcalf over Darrell Williams if it's full PPR. If it was standard and or half PPR, maybe in standard, definitely Darrell Williams, but since it's full PPR, got to go with those wide receivers. Chuck Man, what's going on, bro? Thanks for the kind words. Need a big win this time. Standard, the bonus of $100. Oh, okay, all right. Starting running backs, Henry and Connor. Injury City, need a flex. Swift, Gibson, Lockett, or wait for Alex Collins. Swift or Gibson? Washington's going up against Green Bay, and the Lions are going up against the Rams. Green Bay is averaging 21.3 fantasy points to opposing running backs, and the Rams are averaging 20.7. So it's pretty even as far as fantasy points averaged for running backs against from a defensive perspective. Both are going to be in not limited roles, but they're going to have roles. They're not going to be like clear-cut RB1s for their team, because Jamal Williams has been splitting the work with Swift, and Gibson splitting the work with both McKissick and Patterson, as long as he's a little bit banged up. But I think I'd go either Swift or Gibson over Lockett or Alex Collins. You need a big win this week. I really love Swift, but I know he hasn't delivered as much as everybody has hoped he would because of the presence of Jamal Williams there. I think I go Gibson. I'm still really high on the talent. I know they're gonna manage him because of the shin injury, but actually, yeah, let me come back to that one. But it's between Swift or Gibson for me, Chuck, man. I'm gonna come back to that one, and I know I said I was gonna come back to another one at the top of the chat. Anthony Garcia, let's do that right now. Hope you're still in here. PPR, CPAT, and Darrell Williams are my RB1 and RB2. Flexes Woods, should I leave as is, or flex Gibby, or sit Woods for Hubbard? And I believe that's an for, not an or. Correct me if I'm wrong if you're still in here. I'd go CPAT, Gibby, and I guess I'd start all 3 running backs. CPAT, Darrell Williams, and Gibby as RB2, RB1, RB2 flex, and I would sit Woods. The Rams aren't gonna need to throw a ton to beat the Lions, I don't believe. So that is absolutely in your favor there. So, CPAT, Darrell Williams, and Gibby, go for it. Let's get back to the questions down below. Got to that Chuck Mann question. And I will get back to that one. Big Kong, what's going on? Bateman, Pittman, or Freeman? Which Freeman? Royce? Devonta? But if it's a choice there, I'm going Pittman. Campbell is out. T.Y. is out. If T.Y. was in, I'd be a little bit more hesitant just because we saw what happened to the overall target share for Michael Pittman when T.Y. was in. But since T.Y. is out and Campbell is out, we got to go Pittman there regardless of who the Freeman is. We already got to Lance Hillis' question. Word. Thank you again, Lance Hillis. And thank you, Slim, for helping answer that question. You are absolutely right. Miles Sanders' schedule gets real light moving forward. Real light. Slim, Amon-Ra, AJ Green, or Bateman, flex PPR. That's tough because Detroit's going to be their number one wide receiver, I guess, is going to be Amon-Ra, but he's going up against Jalen Ramsey, which is not a matchup I'm chasing. But the Cardinals probably won't need to air it out a ton with AJ Green. So now I have to rethink my AJ Green love this week because I didn't realize that Arizona was going up against Houston. So this game script leans like a James Conner, Chase Edmonds over a guy like AJ Green. And then Bateman I love. I think I'm going Bateman there. I think I'm going Bateman, Slim. I think I'm going Bateman. Sneaker Reporter, if Shepard is out, who should I play? I'm on Ross St. Brown. Edwards or Pascal? Edwards. If Shepard is out. Edwards, who's Edwards? Brian Edwards? I know I just said it's not a weakness to play St. Brown because he's going up against the Rams and Jalen Ramsey. But out of those guys, unless Darren Waller is just a sit, and it is. If Darren Waller is a sit, it's Brian Edwards. If Darren Waller is playing, it's St. Brown. But I don't feel good about it. Yeah. I hope that helps. Now I wish Nick was here and I could bounce this off of him, but he's not. So sorry. You just get my input. Lance Hillis again. Yo, thank you so much. And yo, definitely come through next week. Yo, Marcus Brown, somebody dropped Singletary due to a bye next week. I picked him up. Is he worth holding? Absolutely, dude. Because I believe he's a low-end RB2 with high-end RB2 upside. And if anything were to happen to Moss, he would see a huge workload. So he is definitely somebody that I'd be holding. If I saw somebody drop him, I'd be picking him up too. That's an awesome stash for you over the bye week. That's a winner move. Good job, bro. Ryan Righteous at the Track Stars. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. David Fan, what's going on, man? Should I trade Antonio Gibson and Mike Williams for Kamara? Ooh. Oh, man. Yo, let me text Nick, see if he's up, see if he can come on, because that question, I really like Kamara. But AG, I know with his injury designation, is just kind of like a coin flip every week. But Mike Williams has been an RB1 or a wide receiver 1. Let me text Nick. Let me see. He's gonna hate me. I'm interrupting his I'm sure he's sleeping off something. To everybody that's new in the chat, my co-host is in Las Vegas right now for the Eagles Raiders game. So he should be sleeping something off. Let's be real. Let me get back to that David Fawn. hopefully Nick can come in at some point and help me answer that one. My gut is to say that's this year with Mike Williams, it might be too much. It might depend on the rest of your team. Put the rest of your team's put the team in the chat. Put the team in the chat. Put the whole squad in the chat, and we'll dig into this. Chat, what do you guys think? You guys got to help me answer this one. Lance Hills, Hillis got one for you actually. Oh hell yeah, awesome. I got offered Tyreek for Dalvin Cook straight up. My depth at wide receiver isn't great, but I'm worried about Saquon's health, and losing Kareem was a big hit. Should I take the trade? I believe Kareem Hunt is out until Thanksgiving. Isn't that around when we were thinking that he was going to be back? And your breakdown right now is Sutton, Julio, at wide receiver at least. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would not do that. Because looking at your running back depth, I mean, you switch Cook in for Booker, right? And you're golden. Can you try to? I'd try to flip Michael Thomas. He's on IR, due to come back. Try to flip Michael Thomas and. Can you flip Michael Thomas and Devontae Booker into something? I mean, that's the kind of thing that I'd be looking for. He's not contributing to your team as is right now. He's a wait and see. And if you were tuning in last week, you would know how Nick and I both feel about Michael Thomas. We're both. Nick was off on him since the beginning of the year. He was off on him pre-draft. I was not. But the more the season's progressed, and I've seen this offense, and I've thought about his current situation, I'm not super hype on Michael Thomas coming back. So I would try to ship Michael Thomas out. Keep Cook because he's an RB1 and he is a huge asset to your team. But if you could flip Michael Thomas for, I mean, not Tyreek, but yo, can you get Ruggs? Can you get Ruggs? Can you get who else? I'm trying to think like a 1-for-1 Michael Thomas deal where you could try to trade Michael Thomas to somebody who's like 5-1, cruising into the playoffs, and is shooting for Michael Thomas during the playoff run or something like that. Then I'd try to. That's the kind of deal that I'd be making there. I would not be trying to move Cook for a wide receiver at this point in time because I know you're thin on wide receiver up here, and you're kind of hoping Michael Thomas comes back. I would flip the uncertainty into some certainty. Use Devontae Booker this week while you need the spot start while Cook is out, and then flip Devontae Booker and Michael Thomas for somebody. I think that's the way I'd go. But thanks for throwing in another question with us, Lance. Slim Reaper, thoughts on Pitts for this week? Pitts is playing. Atlanta is playing Miami. Miami fantasy points to opposing tight ends. 10.6. And we all know that Kyle Pitts is not a regular tight end. He is he's just a receiving threat. And he's a big part of this offense. I am high on with expecting on average 10 points back from a tight end not named Pitts. I would go for that just based on matchup alone. But yeah, I have no problem starting Pitts. No problem starting Pitts. He should exceed that number. He should. Got too many windows going on here. Corey Della Pasta, what's going on? Corey Davis, A-Rob or Julio? Julio might not play, but if he plays, I believe they're going to use him because they need to. They're going to be playing the Chiefs. but I can't advocate starting for him. I'm starting him because I believe he's had like one good fantasy week this year. A-Rob, same deal. Corey Davis, same deal. Damn. Man, I wish I had Nick here to bounce this one off of too. Who are the Bears playing? Tampa Bay. Wow, I think I'd go in Allen Robinson and hope. I can cross my fingers. If he's playing Tampa Bay, I think that's the way I'd go. Because neither Julio or Corey Davis have been like world beaters over the past few weeks. Neither is Allen Robinson, but at least last week he saw a little bit more production. That offense looked a little bit more productive with Justin Fields. So maybe against what should be a pass funnel offense, let's look at fantasy points averaged opposed to opposing wide receivers. Tampa Bay is averaging 33.8. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're the 10th worst defense in stopping wide receiver production from a fantasy perspective. So I would chase that because he's going to be one of the only options for them for getting the ball downfield. I'd go A-Rob and cross my fingers. Yeah, it doesn't feel great considering how A-Rob is done, but I think he trends up. I think right now is, sorry about the helicopter, the time to buy low on Allen Robinson. I wouldn't be giving up the world because he is uncertain. He is a one-year buy. He is not part of their future plans, and this they're still working out their quarterback woes in their offense with Justin Fields, trying to unlock his potential. But I think you hope for a step forward for that whole offense this week. John Wagner, different league than Ruggs. All right, yeah. I think let's go back up to that question. Where were we? This chat just refreshed. Sorry about that. Myers, Renfrow, or Allen Robinson at wide receiver. I think it still stands. Renfrow is a safe play, especially with Darren Waller out, or trending towards out. But Allen Robinson could be if this offense figures it out, if Justin Fields, if it just kind of clicks for this game, it could be a huge game for Allen Robinson because they're gonna need to play catch up. Even if it doesn't click for them, they're gonna be airing it out. And with the 10th most fantasy points averaged to opposing wide receivers through 6 weeks, I'd go Tampa Bay. Or I'd attack Tampa Bay there with Allen Robinson if I'm shooting for upside. But thanks for the clarification, John. Appreciate it. Anthony Garcia, full PPR, Darrell Williams or Chuba, flex. Ooh, that's tough. Let me see if I can pull this up. Because I got a stat that I was gonna reference earlier, and then I just got to sidetracked with more questions. So bear with me here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Lost the screenshot of the stat of the year. Damn. Well, basically what it was going into was the team's usage of running backs over the past 3 weeks. and it went over the top 10 running backs. And I believe it started with, Alvin Kamara, James Robinson had high marks. Darrell Henderson had high marks in average in overall touches in an offense. They were all above like 70. Leonard Fournette was in there. But surprisingly, one of the guys Josh Jacobs was in there over the past 3 weeks. Miles Sanders was in there over the past 3 weeks, so that's how I got into the whole Miles Sanders deep dive, was looking at average usage over the past 3 weeks. Miles Sanders' usage was that of an RB1 over the past 3 weeks. It's just the outcome hasn't been there. But surprisingly, Chuba was up there. Chuba was like top 6 in overall usage over the past 3 games, and of all running backs in the league. So it's not as an easy question. It's not just like, oh, Chiefs running back who got 20 plus fantasy points last week, let's go that way. I think Chuba is the way to go here. Chuba gets targeted in the pass game. Darren Williams might too, just because outside of McKinnon, there's nobody else to pass to from the running back position. I think I'd go Chuba, because I think for however long he's got the number 1 role in Carolina, he's going to be a threat for an RB1 week with the kind of usage he's getting, because he's getting RB1 usage. I know Darren Williams last week got RB1 usage, but we've seen the RB1 in that offense be a little streaky. We've seen CEH be somebody that you can't really rely on from week to week sometimes. So that offense, sometimes they can just get away from the running back. So I think I go Chuba here. Though I don't not like Darren Williams, especially after a plus 20 point week. But I think I go Chuba here. Yo, Marcus, I'm glad. Yeah, thank you for the kind words. I'm glad that I'm glad you stumbled across us, and I'm couldn't be happier that you're part of what we're trying to build here. Everybody in the chat that's here is thanks for chilling with us. Thanks for sticking with me through this fumble of a stream. I'm not used to doing this without somebody, so thanks for everybody here that's contributed. Thanks for everybody here that tunes in weekly, checks out the videos, likes, subscribed. It's been a really cool 6 months since we really started taking this channel like really seriously, pushing out stuff every week or every day, and it's been really cool to see it grow. And obviously, you guys are the biggest part of that. So thank you guys for everybody that's in here asking questions. And live stream. We didn't know how the live streaming was gonna go. We really weren't sure when we started it out. We actually, the first time we live streamed was during the NFL draft this past year. We live streamed, and we will again next year. And we hope you guys all join us for that. But we live streamed the draft this past year, and there was like one person in there, and we weren't sure. We shut down the live streaming for a long time. We were just like, we're not gonna do this until we get some traction with the regular videos, and obviously that happened. We felt confident opening up to doing live streams again, and we love doing this. This is the funnest part of this of this whole operation is spending time with you guys, whether it's Sunday 10 a.m., Tuesday 6:30, 6 p.m., or I know we didn't get to it yesterday, but once Nick is back, we will start up the Saturday night streams again, so that will be a thing. So Saturday 6 p.m. Looking forward to doing this again too. But let's get back to answering some of these questions. Sorry for the rant. But long story short, Marcus, thanks. Everybody in here, thanks. Xavier, what's going on, bro? What's going on, Xavier? Wondering, should I start? Who I should start at tight end? Ertz, OJ Howard, or CJ Uzoma? I know Nick put out a video about Ertz being a solid start this week, but he's still being integrated into the offense. And again, against Houston, I know they're giving up a fair amount of work to tight ends, but I don't know how much Kyler is going to be asked to do in this game, are going to need to do to win. OJ Howard with the touchdown upside there. I think you go OJ Howard. I think you go OJ Howard for this week over those other options. And you hope for a week like last week. With Gronkowski out, with Antonio Brown out, you go OJ Howard. And let me check to see if there's been any updates in the fantasy world as far as who's starting and who's sitting. There has not. Nothing's coming across my ticker, so we'll keep looking at that, keep keeping y'all updated. But thanks, Xavier, for your question. Thanks for tuning in. I would go OJ Howard there. Sneaker Reporter, yeah, it was Brian Edwards. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'd go Brian Edwards there if Waller is out. If Waller is playing, St. Brown, we'll keep an eye on that. No news as of yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. Slim Reaper, Dallas on bye. Do I grab Atlanta, Miami, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, D, or play none this week? I don't advocate ever playing none. Let's look at the matchups for these guys. Let's dig into this one. I'm not too good on. Usually I throw defense questions to Nick. And kicker questions too. I default, yo, Nick, handle these. So let me fumble through this one. But bear with me. Atlanta, they're playing Miami. Jacksonville. Where we at, Jacksonville? Who you playing? Is Jacksonville playing this week? I believe Jacksonville's on a bye. So I wouldn't pick up Jacksonville. Las Vegas is playing Philadelphia at home. So it's between Miami or Las Vegas at D or Atlanta. I think I'd go Las Vegas at home. There's no data. I don't have any data to back that up. And if Nick stops by, we'll circle back to the defense questions. I am useless at defense questions. I just kind of roll with one all year, regardless of matchup. In season-long leagues where a defense is still a thing. But I'm a proponent of leagues getting rid of defenses and kickers altogether and just adding more flex spots. That's kind of my thing, but not everybody's gonna do that. That's not everybody's cup of tea. I don't think you play none. I guess I'd go Las Vegas. We'll get an answer from Nick soon. He has not texted me back yet, but it is still 8 o'clock in the morning there, and I'm sure he had a wild night. So I don't know if we're gonna hear from him today. But yo, everybody in the chat, answer this. Help me answer this defense question. I don't know where to go here. I'm bad at analyzing defensive matchups. Where were we? Xavier. Also, who should I throw in the flex? 12-man, full PPR. Rondale, Freeman, or Ramondre Stevenson? I'm guessing that's Devontae. For this week, I like Ramondre, but Devonta Freeman has a chance to be an RB2 this week, and it's in a spot start for the Ravens. And between those two guys, Rondale Moore isn't going to be needed for the Cardinals to beat the Houston Texans. Between Devonta Freeman and Ramondre Stevenson, as far as full PPR, who do you go with? I think Freeman's a threat to catch a few more passes than Ramondre. That's not Ramondre's skill set. So I would go Freeman. I'd go Freeman, even though it feels weird in 2021 starting Freeman, advocating Freeman. I'd go Freeman there for just this week. Or for however long Latavius Murray is out. Because it's clear they don't trust Tyson enough to have him active every week. Even though he is an electric runner, he just doesn't handle the other aspects of playing the running back position well, whether that's knowledge of the playbook or pass protection assignments or being able to play on special teams or whatever. He's just been inactive more times than he's been active this year. So, yeah, Freeman there. Chris Mack, need 3. McKissick, Jacobs, Allen Robinson, and Miles Sanders. Well, were you here for my whole lengthy deep dive into the whole Miles Sanders situation over as far as schedule for the next for the rest of the season? Because Miles Sanders has a great schedule the rest of the season. As far as this matchup for this week, Miles Sanders is playing the Las Vegas Raiders. They are 13th right now in fantasy points average to opposing running backs. 13th worst, that is. And let me get the exact stat for you. They are averaging 23.1 fantasy points to opposing running backs, and Miles Sanders is getting the majority of the work for the Philadelphia Eagles, regardless of, and I know Kenneth Gainwell's been a hot name, but Miles Sanders is still getting the majority of that work. So I would go Jacobs, Sanders, Robinson. There. I think the Bears, again, are going to need Robinson this week because they're playing the Tampa Bay Bucks, and we all know the Bucks put up points, regardless of whether or not Gronk is playing and AB are playing. Then it's just Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and O.J. Howard out there, and Leonard Fournette. They still got enough weapons to put up points. So Allen Robinson is going to be needed by the Bears to try to equalize the equation. So I would sit McKissick out of those 3. I hope that helps, Chris. Thanks for tuning in. Slim, what's up? Oh, you're helping answering the question? Thank you. Thanks for that. Yeah, that was that trade question, right? Hold for now unless you have wide receiver depth to send Mike Will away. Yeah. I'm inclined to agree with you. Still want to get Nick's input into that. And the defensive question too. Chuck, man, no way I'm taking Cook. I can get better. Yeah, I'd rather. I'm in that situation. Yeah, no way I'm trading Cook. Can get better. I'm inclined to hold Cook in that situation too, and try to get something for Michael Thomas. So yeah, I'm glad you agree. K Meyer 016, AJ Brown or Jalen Waddle have PPR. We got this question earlier. I am citing AJ Brown because we can't trust Julio Jones this week. He's trending towards playing, but how much playing time is he going to get? And they're playing the Chiefs. And while the Chiefs are middle of the road in fantasy points average to opposing wide receivers, historically, teams need to run up the points and run up the scoreboard against the Chiefs to keep up with the Chiefs. And Julio Jones looks like their only bona fide option, or not Julio Jones. AJ Brown looks like their only bona fide option through the air. They're going to rely heavily on Derrick Henry as they have all season. He's going to have 30 touches because he has all year. But AJ Brown, even though he had that food poisoning last week, coming back from injury, he had a decent week against the Bills. And I know Jalen Waddle had a bigger week last week. But I think you go AJ Brown here. think you go AJ Brown here. Excuse me. Gotta get some of that coffee. You already know. I'm a caffeine addict. It's a problem. Let's get back to this chat. Basketball knowledge. Devonta Freeman, Brandon Ayuk, Collins, McKissick, or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pick one full PPR. It's crazy. It's crazy, but I think I'm going Devonta Freeman. It's between Devonta Freeman, McKissick, and Collins for me. It's between the running backs, which is not usual for me for full PPR, but Amon-Ra St. Brown going up against the Rams with Jalen Ramsey, and Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be their number one option this week. It's him, Hawks, and D Swift. But from the wide receiver position, he's going to be their main target. It's him and then Khalif Raymond. So I think they erase Amon-Ra St. Brown this week. He hasn't been incredible this season. He's just been getting a fair amount of work and not doing great with him, but not doing bad. He's not falling flat on his face. And Ayuk, I know he was a wide receiver one last year, but until I see Trey Lance really put it together through the air and start targeting some of these other options outside of Deebo Samuel, I don't know if Ayuk is a start there. I know McKissick is a hot name because, news, Sterling Shepard does not expect to play in Week 7. So everybody got can push Slayton up their boards. Anybody that was between Slayton and somebody else, Slayton is a good bet this week. But back to that question. Devonta Freeman could be an RB2 for this week. J.D. McKissick is a threat to be an RB2 any week that Antonio Gibson isn't fully healthy, though they have mixed in with Jared Patterson here and there. Collins has been an RB2, but he's banged up too. Damn. I don't know. I wish Nick was here to bounce this one off of too. I think my gut is to go Freeman. Or how has McKissick done this season? Let me see. I don't have any McKissick, so I don't know how he's done the past few weeks. Let me take a look. Eight receptions on 10 targets last week. Ooh, yeah, you chased that. Wow, I was not aware of that. Yeah, I would go J.D. McKissick there. I would go McKissick. I know there were some other McKissick questions in the chat too. We had one from Chris Mack, I believe, and I said McKissick was the odd man out with Jacobs, Allen Robinson, and Sanders. Chris Mack, put your what's the scoring? Is it standard, half PPR, full PPR? Let me try and reassess that one, because if it's full PPR and McKissick is getting 10 targets and catching 8 of them, doesn't matter how much work he's getting on the ground. Never really has. He could be more productive than Allen Robinson. Josh Jacobs is getting an RB1 workload. Miles Sanders is getting an RB1 workload. And it's between McKissick and Allen Robinson there for me now. So let me know, Chris. If you're still in here, I hope you are. All right, basketball knowledge. It's McKissick. Pick one. Full PPR, absolutely. McKissick. David Fon, what's going on? Kyler Murray. At QB, Kyler Murray. Running back, Ezekiel Elliott. Running back, Antonio Gibson. Wide receiver, Stephon Diggs. Wide receiver, Julio Jones. Tight end, Kyle Pitts. Flex, Mike Williams. Kicker, Tyler Bass. Defense, Buffalo. Hell yeah. Bills from the waivers this week. Bench Gesicki, Jacoby Myers, Kadarius Toney, Brandon Cooks, Javonte Williams, Antonio Brown. I have a tough or half PPR. Is there a question in there? Is there a question in there? I mean, it looks like a solid match. It looks like a solid lineup. I don't love the idea of starting Julio. He'd probably be your flex play if you want to be like politically. I don't know. I don't know what the term is there. I would put whatever. I mean, is there a question though? And sorry guys, this is a new experience for me doing this all solo. But David, let me know if that's a question. Let me know if there is a question, or if you just wanted me to rate your or take a look at who you got this week playing. Yeah, I might put Brandon Cooks in over Julio Jones this week though. That's just me. Jorge Colon, I have a tough decision this week. Pick 2, Elijah Mitchell, DK Metcalf, or Jamar Chase. What's your scoring? I think I'd go DK Metcalf or Jamar Chase if I have to pick 2. I know Elijah Mitchell's going to get a lot of work as the de facto number 1 there on the ground for San Fran. But Jamar Chase has been absolutely on fire. He's the number 1 deep threat in the league right now. And DK Metcalf, it's really hard to sit him. I don't know how you can sit him. So I'd start DK and Jamar Chase. William Risky was going on. Standard, pick 1. Slayton, Edwards, Gage, Pascal. Also standard, pick 2. Collins, Davis, Gibson. All right, let's do this first one. Slayton, Edwards, Gage, Pascal. It's not Gage or Pascal for me. It's between Edwards and Slayton. Looks like Slayton's going to be the number 1 target this week for the Giants because Golladay and Kadarius Toney are out. I know Sterling Shepard is out, and Evan Ingram is always a threat. Is always a threat to be injured. I think he is injured, I believe. So Slayton is going to be the only guy there, really, with outside of like John Ross. But Edwards, pending what happens with Darren Waller, could be the number 2 target in that offense. Could be the number 1. The problem with Edwards is he just hasn't scored touchdowns. He's been used. And even then, but his usage is weird too, because they seem to only really connect at the end of games when the game's on the line, right? So, yeah, we got another super chat. Oh, all right. I don't know what to say to that because it's not a football thing. But thank you for the super chat. Thanks for supporting the channel. I don't know what to do with the comment. Let's get back to some fantasy football. That's what we're here for. It's between Slayton and Edwards for me. If Darren Waller is playing, it's clear Slayton. If Darren Waller is not playing, it is Edwards. I guess I go Slayton. Sorry, that super chat threw me off. I have football brain. I don't know what to do with all that. Also standard, pick 2. Collins, Davis, Gibson. Alex Collins, Mike Davis, Antonio Gibson. I think you pick Antonio Gibson there because if he's playing, you got to start your stud. And if it's between Davis and Collins, I think I'm going Davis because the Falcons are playing the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 4th right now in fantasy points. Fantasy points allowed to running backs. So I think I'd go Gibson and Davis. Slim, you're David. I personally wouldn't do it, but it's not a bad trade. Oh, oh, yo, all right, you were putting your team in the chat because of the trade question. And I said, my bad, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. My head's up my butt. Let's go back. Let's go back to this. Should I trade Antonio Gibson and Mike Williams for Kamara? And that's your squad. And Slim has said, David, I personally wouldn't do it, but it's not a bad trade. He's right. It's not a terrible trade, but I don't know if I would do it either. I feel like it's a lot to give up. And I know Gibson's banged up, but and I know the upside of Kamara. But I have a hard time giving away an RB1 in addition to Mike Williams right now for another RB1. Yeah. But I'm sorry for the mix-up. Sorry for the mix-up, David. I'm an idiot. My mind's in 20 different places right now. Nick's trying to join me. He just texted me. He's getting set up. So we'll be able to bounce that trade that trade inquiry off of him too. So he'll be in. But sorry about that, bro. All right, William, we already got to your question. Where are we? Basketball knowledge. We already did get to that one. I would say McKissick. Account B, do you think we will see Marlon Mack or Deshaun Watson trade before the deadline? See a Marlon Mack or Deshaun Watson trade before the deadline? I mean, we could. I think the Deshaun Watson trade was all rumors. Like the whole things are heating up. I think that was all. I'm not inclined to say that I believe the news there that came out, and I know some news came out a few hours after that, a few days ago, that contradicted all the Deshaun Watson to Miami news and all that, or Deshaun Watson to the Eagles or whatever was news was brewing. Obviously we haven't seen anything come to fruition yet. So do I think Deshaun Watson gets traded? No, because I believe he has a hearing at some point scheduled in February. So I don't know if a team gives up the asking price, and I believe the asking price is like 3 firsts and 3 seconds, and I think the rumors were a team offered that to the Texans, and the Texans turned them down. They wanted more or something like that. I have a hard time believing that a team would trade future assets for him, knowing how good he is, but based on the fact that he has this hearing where he's due to speak in February, so it's I don't know, his status is gonna be up in the air at least until then, and obviously this saga could go on much longer than that. So I don't know if we see a Deshaun Watson trade deadline move, but I think we could see a Marlon Mack move. He's played pretty well this year in spot duties, and there are definitely running back needy teams all across the NFL. I think this is one of the most injury-ridden years I've seen in fantasy, and I haven't been playing super long. I started out my first league, or joined my first league in 2009, I believe. And I don't remember seeing a year where so many highly touted running backs have been injured. So, but yeah, long story short, account B, I think Marlon Mack gets traded. I don't think Deshaun Watson does. Hugo Garcia, what's going on? Which 2 running backs should I start? Devonta Freeman, Mike Davis, or Alex Collins? We've gotten this one a lot. I believe this is a question that a lot of people are deliberating on. I'm inclined to believe that Devonta Freeman has RB2 upside this week in its spot start, just because Latavius Murray isn't there, and Latavius Murray has performed like an RB2 as long as he's been the preferred running back for the Ravens, pretty much, or at least of late. It's between him and Mike Davis for me. Mike Davis again plays the Dolphins. And you're saying, Mike, which 2 running backs should I start? I believe you go Devonta Freeman and Mike Davis. Alex Collins is a little bit banged up, and I don't know if I trust that offense with Geno Smith running it. And I know DJ Dallas has been mixed in a little bit, and I believe Rashad Penny is due to be coming back this week, so he should get some play at some point. So I think I would go Devonta Freeman or Mike Davis there. Alex Hawkinson or Ricky Seals-Jones or Darren Waller. Well, Darren Waller might not be playing, and even if Darren Waller plays, let's check back with this news, see if we have anything. So it looks like Julio Jones and AJ Brown are both playing. But that's all I got. Nothing new on the Waller front just yet. Hawkinson or Ricky Seals-Jones, you gotta go Hawk. I know Ricky Seals-Jones had a good, nice role last week, but I mean, and even if it's a choice between Hawkinson, Waller, or Ricky Seals-Jones, and Waller is healthy, you'd go Waller, then Hawk, then Ricky Seals-Jones. Again, even after last week's explosion, I think you try with tight end depth like that. You should be trying to field offers for Ricky Seals-Jones for however long Logan Thomas is out. And I believe Logan Thomas should be coming back pretty soon. So your window to sell Ricky Seals-Jones might be closing. I'd try to see if you can offload him and package him or something, because with your tight end depth, you don't need Ricky Seals-Jones. Account B, Jags on bye. Yeah, Jags are on bye. Yeah, thanks for helping with that one. That's good baloney. I like the name. Hey, thanks, bro. I appreciate the kind words. We both do. Nick, I'm saying that for Nick too. We both appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Xavier Dubs was gonna say, Chuck, I would want Dalvin, and then I kept reading. Yeah. And you agree with me starting Vegas? Okay, cool. All right. So I mean, we'll see if I end up being right there, but at least some people agree with me on my defensive choices. Carlos 23, Rashad Penny or Quez Watkins for one more flex spot, full PPR. I'm not gonna go start Rashad Penny this week. Quez Watkins. I would go Quez Watkins. Or Nyheim Hines. I guess Nyheim Hines? But Quez Watkins, I believe he's pretty much been operating as the number 2 wide receiver for the Eagles. It hasn't been Rager. Rager's kind of been relegated to a tertiary option. And Zach Ertz leaving might open up more opportunities for Quez. I wish I had Nick on here so he could answer some questions on Quez, because I haven't been tuned into him. But I know I believe he's overtaken Rager for that number 2 spot in the offense. I know Nick is going to be joining us soon, Carlos. Let me get him to answer that question, Quez or Nyheim Hines. But I'm inclined full PPR. Let me get his answer. He'll be on soon. Carlos, I think Collins is playing, so Penny won't get much work. Yeah, I'm not expecting Rashad Penny to get a ton of work today. And even if he does, I don't know how effective he's going to be. I just don't. I mean, even last year when he came in at the end of the season, I believe he played for 3 games, few snaps in 3 games. He averaged something like 3.2 yards per carry over that span. And I know, again, he was coming back from injury and working his way through things, but I don't know if I can trust Rashad Penny. And, it might bug me in the butt because we've seen left for dead Alex Collins go out there and be an RB2 for a couple of weeks. So whoever's getting the work out in Seattle should be fantasy relevant. So I know I shouldn't be counting Rashad Penny all the way out because I know he has good draft capital and all that, but show it to me. I got to see it. Not trusting Rashad Penny yet. Chuck, man, Vegas at home is nice against Phil, but I take the upside of the Dolphins. Sooner or later, they have to start to resemble the Dolphins from last year. Turnover upside is big. I know that, but also, like, sooner than later, that streak of them, I believe they have, like, a streak going for takeaways or scoring plays or something like that from the defense. I mean, that streak's bound to end at some point too. I know Atlanta's not a strong opponent, so the Dolphins aren't a bad play. Defense is just hard to predict year to year, so I don't know if a team just is gonna start to resemble the team they were last year, because they did lose a fair amount of pieces from that team from last year. A lot of the pieces from that team are elsewhere. Kyle Van Noy, I believe Shaq Lawson is elsewhere. A couple other players. But it's not the same defense as last year. So we can't expect it to just turn into last year's team. That said, the Dolphins aren't a bad play. I would just go Vegas. Uzi, what's going on? Nick ain't here. He should be joining us soon. He texted me about 5 minutes ago, so he should be joining us shortly. But thanks for joining us, Uzi. How you doing? Ryan Nolly, if Shepard can't go, pick up Slayton or Robbie? I mean, I would pick up Slayton, because it's already been confirmed that Shepard isn't going to be playing. So Slayton is a very good spot start. And we have Nick. Let me get him set up real quick. Bear with me. I think he was coming into the Zoom. Yo, if you're watching this and I just kicked you, I'm sorry. Come back in. Let's get back to some of these chats. Yeah, I would go. I'd pick up Slayton. Ryan. And Marcus Parker's out from the Miami game. Is he? Jalen Waddle looks more appealing now. Yeah. Would you still go AJ Brown? Let's get Nick on this question. Nick is getting set up as we speak. I see him on camera. Let me get him set up for you guys. Bear with me. There we go. Can you hear me, dude? I don't know if you can. You might be frozen. You glitching. But I got you in the stream, bro. You here? Yeah? Bro?
You got me?
I got your audio, but your video is frozen.
No.
And your audio sounds like you're a transformer again. I don't know if you guys can hear that. He sounds like Optimus Prime is speaking over there.
It hasn't been simple getting this set up. But
yo, how's Vegas? Yo, how was
this might be.
How was the first night in Vegas?
It was a good night. A lot of long typical stuff, alcohol consumption and gambling. But no, it's been fun. So we're just like getting ready.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to set up the mobile rig and stream with us.
Yeah,
I don't want to hold you up. We do just have a few questions to.
I brought a couple. I brought my equipment, but like getting this all set up with the Wi-Fi connection has been a little difficult. So this is a little bootleg, but I did want to make a cameo.
Well, thank you, bro.
Of course.
All right. Well,
hit me. I can't see the chat, but hit me with what it can help with.
All right. We were at Marcus Brown's question. With Parker out for the game, Jalen Waddle looks more appealing now. Would you still go A.J. Brown? Because I recommended A.J. Brown over Jalen Waddle this week when he asked me earlier. Despite the fact that you recommended Jalen as the start of the week, I was just thought against the Chiefs. How could you not start A.J. Brown? But now that Parker is out, how do you feel?
Still has to be A.J. Still has to. I mean, if those are the two choices that you're between, it's got to be A.J. Brown.
All right. Defense question: Vegas against Philadelphia, or Dolphins against Atlanta?
Vegas.
Yeah, that was where I was edging towards too. So, yeah, and I got some confirmation from the chat. A lot of the people are going Vegas as well.
I would say Vegas
over the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, cool. Got an Eagles question for you. This guy, Carlos23, has a question: Rashad Penny or Quez Watkins for one more flex spot, full PPR, or Nyheim Hines? Which way you going? I know you like Quez. And I know Ertz leaving vacates some targets. Do you go Quez 1 week, or do you just go with Nyheim Hines? Because
what's Alex Collins' status?
He's limited, but he's playing.
But he's okay. But as of right now, he's in.
Yeah, but Rashad Penny is also playing, and DJ Dallas. Like, they're all gonna mix in.
They're gonna mix in. Right. Collins had a decent game Sunday night against Pittsburgh last week. It was between him, Quez, and Nyheim Hines.
Yeah.
Colts are playing San Francisco. I think I might say Hines. I like Quez. The opportunities have been a little few and far between, and on the road against an aggressive defense.
That's what I needed. Yep. I was edging Hines, but I wasn't sure which way I was gonna go, and I wanted to get your input because I know you've been keyed into the Eagles for one. And you've been a proponent of not starting, but looking at Quez Watkins in fantasy for the past 6 weeks. But yeah, Hines, the known commodity. Got to go with Hines. You're right.
I think that's where I'd go.
All right, we have a. I'm just scanning through here to make sure. Pick one in standard: Slayton or Bryan Edwards this week.
I guess Edwards. Slayton, the Giants are just a mess right now.
Yeah, but he's out there with John Ross. Like, that's his target competition.
Panthers are a decent defense.
Edwards, Waller might not play, and that was the deciding factor for
Waller
me.
might not play.
Like, Edwards is going to be more involved. Yeah.
I would say Edwards. Yeah.
All right, Edwards. I don't got a problem with that. We got a trade question from David Fan that I completely messed up. But let me get to it. Should I trade Antonio Gibson and Mike Williams for Kamara? At the end of the day, the chat and Slim from the chat and I decided that it was probably too much to give up.
That's what I think. He dropped on one of our videos. I was in agreement with you guys. Like, I think that's just it's a little too much. I know there's concerns about Gibson and his status for the rest of the season, but that's a lot to give up for Kamara. This feels like a breakout year for Williams.
Yeah.
I don't think, at the end of the day, I don't think it could pull the trigger.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just scanning through this chat to see if I can, because there were a couple other ones where I was like, I need to ask Nick for this, and we'll get back to it, and I wasn't writing them down or anything. I was on to the next one, so let me Let me scan this.
Okay. Yeah, go.
So
Yeah,
what time is it there? It's what? It's like 9. When are y'all leaving to go to the game?
Midnight. It's gonna be we're probably gonna get breakfast. I may have like 10 minutes in me. I know this is like a very short cameo, so.
No, yeah, bro.
So
anything you can give us from Vegas. You're the correspondent, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Live from Vegas.
Yeah. How often can you say that?
Probably the next. True. Probably the next 10 minutes or so. Or 10, 15 minutes. We'll get breakfast and then there.
All right.
We gotta go to the sports book. Gotta get to the sports book and place our bets.
Hell yeah! Hey,
it was closed last night at like a not too early hour, and I was a little confused by that. So we have to do it today. But everything's all very close to each other in the hotel, so it's easy access. Just gotta go downstairs.
Well, do it up. Hell yeah! Let me see if there's any more questions in here. Now that you've joined in, to see if there's any more questions in here. If Shepard can't go, pick up Slayton or Robbie. We got to that one. Michael Carter, Ruggs or Slayton full PPR. You gotta go Ruggs there. Crown trend.
Yes.
You gotta go Ruggs there.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Marchucci. Good morning, bro. Sat Mooney and played Tony. You can't predict injury. Yeah. We recommended that last week. Yep.
Damn. Yeah, that was a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right. He was questioned. An oversight on my part. He was questionable going into the game. I don't think that would have deterred me enough because, like, once it's all said and done, he was active going into the game.
You said it. You can't predict injury. He said it.
He had 3 catches for 36 yards to start. He was pacing toward a decent game. Like he did that early, because he exited early.
Yep.
It didn't work. It didn't work out because he got hurt.
Process was right though. Process was right.
Apologies for the miss, but I feel like the logic was sound. Moody's a good play today though. It's the Bucs defense.
Well, he's got
much more scary.
He says dynasty. He says dynasty LG 4 bye 3 IR 2 out. Drake, Patterson, DJ Dallas. My choices: Tyler Johnson or one of them RBs. So Kenyon Drake, Jarrett Patterson, DJ Dallas, or Tyler Johnson in a deep dynasty league. I'm inclined to go DJ Dallas. He got 5 targets last game.
I was gonna say Drake. Drake's like, if Waller's out, Drake might catch some more passes.
Yeah, I mean,
if Waller's out.
Josh Jacobs has almost been one of the league leaders in team touches at the running back position. So not a lot of running backs outside of him are getting opportunities in the Vegas offense.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that.
It's a little, it's dicey. I don't think I can advocate for Jarrett Patterson while Gibson is in.
Yeah.
And
Tyler Johnson's sneaky. I mean,
Gronk
is out. AB is out. Sneaky.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have to step up for them. Yep. But it could be like a Scotty Miller game. It could, it could be an OJ Howard. Well, OJ Howard's questionable himself.
Oh, is he?
Tyler Johnson might not be a bad throw. Tyler Johnson actually might not be a bad throw. Bears are decent against the pass.
Yeah.
I think OJ Howard's questionable. But I
none of
think
those running backs
maybe
are
expected to play.
None of those running backs are swaying me off of Tyler Johnson. So I guess I'd go Tyler Johnson.
I would say if Waller, so they both play in the later window. I think the Bucs play at 125, the Raiders play at 105, so it's not the exact same time. If Waller's ruled out, I might lean Drake, but if he's playing and he's active, then I don't mind the throw for Tyler Johnson.
There you go. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for the insight, bro. Mario, you got another question? No, hey, it's always okay to double up on the questions. Just don't repeat the questions in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll get to every single one. You didn't do that, though. Jarrett Patterson for Ricky Seals-Jones. Would you do it?
If you need a tight end stream today, sure. he steals drugs as a tight end one or looks to be that way for as long as Logan Thomas is out. I don't know how much longer. I actually don't know how much more time he's going to miss. So obviously that has to be taken into consideration. But I mean, if you need a tight end stream,
you could do a lot worse.
And you have to not as much old.
I did not get any of that. I don't know if any of that came through. Can you repeat that?
Oh my, okay. Yeah, sorry. Obviously, I'm a little spotty right now, or shoddy, whatever you want to call it. If you got the Antonio Gibson owner, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
You got me. Okay. If you're not the Antonio Gibson owner, Patterson's not as much of a hold. So, yeah, if you could use a tight end stream, Ricky Steele's as a tight end, that will appear to be.
Yo, can the chat hear him? I can't hear him. Nick, I can't hear you. You keep breaking up. No. Yo, go. Thanks for like coming on the live stream and stuff. But yo, go get your breakfast. Go enjoy Vegas. Get out of here. I'm kicking you out. Yeah, yo, go enjoy Vegas. Go have fun. Go get your morning started. Thanks for coming in, dude. Yo, tell Sam, tell Evan, tell Christian what up. And whoever else is there. I think that's everybody.
Good luck to everybody in your matchups today. Yeah, that's the plot.
Yeah. Tell everybody what up.
But yeah, I will do that. But good luck, everybody. Sorry I couldn't be on for longer. I'll be full go for next week, or end waiver show. But yeah, good luck to everybody. Hope you all win your matchups. I can probably try to maybe answer a couple of comments if you throw them on videos as well. But I mean, I'll try. I'll do my best.
Yeah, and yo, let us know if you can come on to the stream not onto the stream, but like throw in the chat when you're making these bets. You gotta let us know what some of these bets are, bro. What are you betting at the sports book? You gotta throw it into the chat when you're doing it.
I'll let you know when I end up.
But yo, yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. Enjoy your day. Get out of here.
All right. Peace.
See you.
See you guys later.
All right. Let me get. There we go. All right. Dope Nick could join us. Sorry for the connection issues, but he'll be back with us next week. And let's get back to some of these questions. B3 Solo, and yo, William Risky, you're welcome. Thanks for tuning in. B3 Solo, what's going on? Tua or Jameis? I guess I go Tua. I know Devontae Parker is out. He seemed to do pretty good with Matt Collins in there. Matt Collins is not a bad desperation dart throw this week. In light of that Devontae Parker news. Who are the Saints playing? Let me take a look. They're playing Seattle. All right. Oh, yo. Stevenson's out now. Wow, yeah, healthy scratch. All right, J.J. Taylor is active this week. Wow. All right. So yeah, everybody that had a Ramondre Stevenson question, put your question back into the chat, and we'll reassess in light of this news. But back to B3 Solo's question. Tua or Jameis? I'd go Tua. Neither are super high upside guys. I know Taysom Hill is banged up, so Jameis is going to get all of the quarterback work. I don't know how much he's going to have to do against the Seattle and against Seattle this week, just because I mean they're so deficient with talent right now. Seattle is, so I guess I'd go Tua. And pick 3: Ayuk, Bateman, Ridley, Callaway. Well, Ridley for 1, Bateman, and then it's between Callaway and Ayuk. And I guess I'd go Callaway because he's the number 1 there, whereas Ayuk is like the number 3 behind Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. So I'd go Callaway. But I wouldn't feel great about it, but I'd go Callaway. If you had Callaway, is this in the same league as the Tua or Jameis? Because if you're starting Callaway, that does technically make Jameis a little bit more enticing to start because you have the stack. So that's something to let me know. Let me know in the chat, B3. Are both of those questions in the same league? Marcus Brown, yeah, yo, it was nice of Nick to come through and at least try, yo. I know he's I don't know if I would have had all my faculties the night after a night in Vegas. So I've never been there, but I can only assume it's a lot like The Hangover, all day, every day. So yeah, you picked up Vegas too? Yeah, I believe Hurts is going down a few times. I could see it. McKissick or Devontae Smith? I think in this one, I mean, McKissick 10 targets last game, but Antonio Gibson is playing, so we'll see Jarrett Patterson. I think Devonta Smith. I think you go Devonta Smith there, but let me know the format. Is it standard or full PPR, half PPR? But my gut is to go Devonta Smith there. B3 solo, Hines, Ingram, and you say yes it is. It's all in the same league. That does make things a little bit more interesting for your trade question above. I don't know if it's enough to get me off of Tua for this week, even though Tua really only has... It's tough. Tua really only has 2 outlets that are... Yeah, like Gesicki and Waddle. And then Jameis has Callaway and, you know, Kamara, obviously, but, like, what, Juwan Johnson? I guess I go Tua, and you hope for another game like last week where he and Waddle linked up a few times. I think you still go Tua there. McKissick or Devonta Smith, Jonathan Hamawi. We already said Devonta Smith, B3 solo. Nyheim Hines, is that Mark Ingram or Khalil Herbert? Pick one. I would go Khalil Herbert. Mr. Heinen, what is going on? PPR, St. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, or Ricky Seals-Jones? I know Ricky Seals-Jones had a great game last week, and Nick is a fan of him, obviously. And he is a spot start as long as Logan Thomas is out. It's a toss-up to me between St. Brown and Ricky Seals. What does the chat think? I'm inclined to go St. Brown because he's been a steadier producer. They're going up against the Rams. Washington is going up against Green Bay. I guess Ricky Seals-Jones. I don't feel like phenomenal about it, but Green Bay has the ability to put up points, and Washington has a banged up RB1. Terry McLaurin's fire, but Curtis Samuel and De'Ami Brown neither have stood out as a number 2 pass option for the Washington football team. So I think Ricky Seals-Jones continues to be that. So I go Ricky Seals. Yeah, Durko. Thanks for alerting us to Stevenson being out. Wasn't expecting that. Sony Michel or pick up Le'Veon Bell. I think I'd go Sony Michel there. Yeah, B3 solo. The Dolphins are going to have to throw. They are. So yeah, I'd go Tua. Goff revenge game, is it? Yeah, it is. I don't know if the revenge narrative. Nick likes that revenge narrative a lot more than I do. It's fun to see how it plays out, but I don't know if there's any statistical advantage attached to revenge games. They're just fun narrative to talk about. And even despite the fact that this is a revenge game, I'm not boosting Goff in any form or fashion. I might actually boost the Rams defense because they know his tendencies so well, and they've obviously played against him in practice for so long, and they're such a solid unit. This might be a boom game for the Rams defense. I think this is a Sean McVay revenge game. Yeah, yo. Sebastian Bouchard Peterson, what's going on? Mike Davis or Rashad Bateman, PPR flex. Mike Davis has the floor, Bateman has the ceiling. That's what we're dealing with there in that situation. Are you looking? Do you need to score a bunch of points in this matchup, or do you think you'll have a comfortable lead and you'll be able to win out with the floor play at flex? I think I would go Bateman. Bateman is the ceiling play, even though Mike Davis could get 15 rushes for 60 yards and a touchdown or something like that. I'd go Bateman, full PPR. Big Dummy, you retracted your message, bro. But down below you said, okay, we'll keep Ricky Seals-Jones. Hopefully whatever injury he has won't keep him sidelined. Yeah. But, I mean, they don't really have much else at the tight end position outside of my boy Sammy's Reyes. But he's yet to see the field, and he's a super raw prospect. So, yeah, I think Ricky Seals-Jones will continue to operate as one of Washington's main target monsters for another week. But we have reached the end of the chat. Yo, come on, y'all. The 9 people in here, throw me some more questions. Let's keep this going. I'm down to keep this moving up until 1 o'clock. I'm not doing anything. So let me know. Actually, yo, if we could wrap this up so I could go back to watching Dune. Have any of y'all seen Dune? I was watching Dune this morning before coming on the live stream, and I my girlfriend's probably mad at me if she's hearing this because I watched it without her, but I don't know how she feels about a sci-fi movie. But whatever. It was good, yo. That was about an hour and a half into it, and it's a long movie. I think it's a two and a half hour movie. I might go back to watching that. But we got some more questions here. Durko04, Matt Ryan or Ryan Tannehill? Now, Ryan Tannehill is going to have to throw. He has both A.J. Brown and Julio. He's going to have to throw to keep up with KC, theoretically. And Matt Ryan, while he has the better matchup in the Miami defense, I like the weapons that Tannehill's working with more. And I like the matchup to be a shootout more than Miami v. Atlanta. So I think I'm going Tannehill. He looked decent last week against a good Bills team. And he kind of carved them up in the second half with A.J. Brown. And he's going to have both of them back. I mean, we could see a shootout here. So I'd go Tannehill. Thoughts on Julio Jones, Big Dummy? I think he's put up 1 week this year where you've been happy you started him in any fantasy format, and it was early on. If there is a matchup where he's going to be needed, I could say it would be the Chiefs. I don't think he's ever going to be the number one option there. He is kind of banged up. He's always a threat to leave the game halfway through again. he's a wide receiver 3 right now, I think. And as long as he's playing, as long as you don't have any clear-cut options to start it over him, he's not a bad play. And yo, B3 Solo, you saw Dune? Yeah, yo, no spoilers, bro. But yeah, I'm at a part where things just about like things are getting interesting, and I want to see how this plays out. And I had about 45 minutes to go, and I had to stop to start the stream up. So I'm at a cliffhanger. So it'll be interesting to see how that movie finishes up. But I really liked what I've seen. We need more sci-fi like that. Big Dummy, I watched Halloween Kills last night and it was horrible. Really? Me and Halloween, the original Halloween is one of my girlfriend's favorite movies. And she wanted to see Halloween Kills. I'll tell her it was horrible. But really, I mean, what are you really at this point? What are you expecting from the Halloween franchise? Let's be real. Durko04, yeah, you're welcome, bro. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for throwing your questions in the chat. Much appreciated. Come back again on Tuesday, bro. You already know. I hope you win your matchups. Nick Rizzo, what's going on? Is Ayuk gonna show up? That's tough. That's a tough question to answer. Because I mean, Debo's been dominant. You can never discount Kittle. Trey Lance's output has been hard to predict. He's such an unknown, and he's so raw a prospect, and his upside relies so much on his dual threat ability. It's really hard to project anybody booming in this offense outside of the top 2 targets. I don't know if Ayuk is going to show up. I like Ayuk a lot, the prospect a lot. I think on another team, he could still be the player we saw last year. I just don't know if I don't know if he shows up this year. Whether that's Shanahan's doghouse or just not having better options in the offense, and the reemergence of Deebo Samuel. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna see Ayuk this week or this year really do what he did last season. I hope he do, because he was exciting to watch. Yo, the original Halloween is the best. I mean, it's up there. It's iconic. They did reboot it twice. I know at one point they had like Busta Rhymes in the Halloween movies in like the 90s or early 2000s. But yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting much except some a fun way to waste a few hours. But yeah, a fun fact about the Halloween, the director makes all of his own music for all of his movies. So if you've ever seen a John Carpenter movie, the score is also done by John Carpenter. So I always thought that was cool, especially since I mean the Halloween piano sound is so iconic, right? Got a little excited there. Hit my pop filter. Ayo. All right. There we go. But yeah, let me get to your fantasy question. Sidetracked by movies. Anyway, DeAndre Hopkins or Terry McLaurin? That's tough. I don't think Arizona's gonna need to air out the ball a ton against Houston. And Arizona hasn't utilized DeAndre Hopkins to the extent that we've seen in the past. Terry McLaurin's been really the only bright spot for the Washington football team all season. I could see this being a Terry McLaurin boom week because they're going to need to keep pace with Green Bay. I think you go Terry McLaurin there. Even though it's like, how do you sit DeAndre Hopkins? Right, but I think you go Terry McLaurin here. Everybody that's in here, throw your opinions in the chat. Do you think you go Terry McLaurin over DeAndre Hopkins too? I think you do. I think you do for this week. Should you drop Hilton for Chanult, Mr. Heinen? Yeah, I would. Hilton is an injury risk, obviously. Whenever he touches the ball, whenever he sees the field, he's old, coming back from a neck injury. Yeah, he was electric, but you got to remember, he always kills the Texans. He's the Texans killer. They call him Ghost out there. So he's not going to have the week that he had last week every week. And he's injured already. And Chanult is one of the primary receivers for the Jags and will be moving forward. So I would go Chanult. Edgar Vera, what's going on? Good morning. Should I have faith in Antonio Gibson or switch to Elijah Mitchell in at flex, full PPR? I mean, that's not a bad player to swerve to. It's hard to sit Antonio Gibson in a game where he's coming in and he is starting. We've seen him come in from limited designations, dealing with this injury, and, not be super effective, but put up 2 touchdowns and get 60 yards on the ground or something. We've seen him do it. He could do the same thing here as one of the only bona fide fantasy relevant options in Washington. I mean, it's Terry McLaurin, and then it's Antonio Gibson, and then it's Ricky Seals-Jones, and then everybody else, right? J.D. McKissick, obviously. Do you switch to another person who should be getting an RB1 workload in Elijah Mitchell? I don't think so. I think you gotta have faith in Antonio Gibson. I think you gotta have faith in Antonio Gibson. This could end up being the wrong play. I have to fully admit that. You could be looking at the end of the day thinking, damn, I wish I would have played Elijah Mitchell there. I think you go Antonio Gibson if he's playing. Yeah. Anybody else got any questions for me? Nick Rizzo, what players are you looking at on the waiver wire long term? Well, Jeff Wilson should be coming back at some point. I know a report came out saying that Kyle Shanahan said that he was going to be coming back at some point this year. So he's somebody that I was, if he's not picked up or if he's dropped during Bipocalypse, this bye-week mania that's going on right now, I would maybe look at Jeff Wilson. Other guys on the wire. Well, what positions are you looking at? What positions? Because there's always tight end guys that I'm looking at. You already know. One guy that I really like is Tyree Jackson, even though he's on IR right now. If you're looking at long-term, Tyree Jackson, he is a quarterback convert who's 6'7", and is converting to tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, who just traded away Zach Ertz. So it's Dallas Goedert, somebody named Jack Stoll, and Tyree Jackson, who's super athletic and looks like at 23 years old he could be the next Darren Waddle or Logan Thomas, super athletic tight end to come out of obscurity, and he does have an RAS of 9.8, relative athletic score of 9.8, which is something I look for in tight ends that signals the potential for prolonged elite production. So Tyree Jackson is my sleeper long-term waiver wire pickup at tight end. I don't know if I'm expecting anything this year, but you said long-term, so I'm in a dynasty league. I'm definitely picking up Tyree Jackson. Long-term, if you're looking for this year, I don't know. He's not on the waiver wire. So actually, he is in some leagues. We got a question about him. Should I be picking up, Rashad Bateman, Kadarius Toney, or Miles Sanders on the waiver wire? Somebody dropped Miles Sanders and he was on the waiver wire, and I know he's running back 38 right now through 6 weeks, but he's a trade target for me. His schedule is juicy coming up. If you look at it from who he's playing, the defenses he's going to be playing. He's another guy that I'm looking at long term for his value to increase rest of the season. Yo, Big Dummy, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming through. Thanks for your support every week. Appreciate it. If I can answer any more questions for you, man, let me know. Chuck, man, rough sailing back again, John. Just lost Parker, starting Mooney, need a running mate. Ayuk, Pascal, or do I dare Bateman? Remember, need a big win playing number 1 team. Oh, man, all right. Yeah, you just lost Parker, starting Mooney. Mooney's not a bad start. Justin Fields has favored throwing the ball to Mooney over throwing the ball to Allen Robinson this season. And they're going to need to throw against the Chiefs. Or who are the Bears playing? That's not the Chiefs. It's Tampa Bay. Right. They're going to need to throw against Tampa Bay. So Mooney's not a bad person to have to just throw in there in a spot start. That's a pretty good play this week. Do you go Ayuk, Pascal, or Bateman? I think you go Bateman, man. I think you go Bateman. I think he has touchdown upside. He can get you a touchdown this week. He could have a boom week. Sammy Watkins isn't playing. Baltimore's playing Cincy. Cincy's been quietly putting up some points. It's an in-division game. Could get a little chippy. I could see. I mean, Lamar Jackson's been throwing more than ever. I could see Bateman really doing well. I've been pushing Bateman all live stream today. So I think I'm going back to the well. I think you go Bateman over Ayuk or Pascal, and I think Nick would agree with me. I do, and I hope you get that win, bro. Playing the number 1 team is always tough, but remember, it's any given Sunday. Any given Sunday, and Wentz is your quarterback. So you're looking at that Pascal stack. I know Pascal was hot in earlier in the season with Wentz. He had a multi-touchdown game and then had a touchdown game as the number 2 target in this offense. Because T.Y. and Paris Campbell were both out at that point too. So Pascal isn't a bad start, and having the Wentz stack is nice. That's tough. I think I'm still going Bateman. But the stack is nice. But you need the number 1 team. You need that upside. So you need that stack. You need to capitalize on the fact that Pascal's gonna get that role. Damn, I think you go Pascal. But that's tough. But playing the number 1 team, you need that stack to hit, give you a boost in points. And I was forgetting when I first said Bateman that Pascal, when he was the number 2 in this offense, and it was before Carson showed rapport with Mo Alley Cox that he has in the past few weeks. But I think it could be another Pascal week, and if you're shooting for upside, going for the stack is never a bad option. So I would go there. Manifestable U 9802, what's going on? Damian Williams, Darius Slayton, or Ricky Seals-Jones, half PPR, need 1 for flex. I am RB needy, so if it's a tie, I'd want to keep the running back. Khalil Herbert has shown to be better than Damian Williams this year. I'm inclined to go Darius Slayton here because Darius Slayton is the last man standing for the Giants. So there's literally nobody else they have to play at pass catcher. They got John Ross out there, and again Saquon is out, so it's the Devontae Booker show on the ground. And so I think Darius Slayton could pace this team in targets. Shepard is out, Galladay's out, Tony is out, Evan Ingram will probably be out by play 2. So even though you need a running back, even if there's anybody else that you can drop on your squad for Damian Williams, I would do that. But I go Darius Slayton. If you're rostering Ricky Seals-Jones, but you're RB needy, then I'd pick up Damian Williams. But thanks for tuning in. And thanks for your comment below. I appreciate it very much, and so does Nick. Xavier Dubs, should I play Mark Ingram, Alex Collins, Rondale, or DJ/Penny 12-man full PPR? I think there you got to go Alex Collins. He's been decent the past few weeks. And if I have the choice between him or DJ Dallas or Penny, I'm playing him. I'm not advocating starting Rondale this week because while I'm very high on Rondale long-term, Rondale and the Arizona Cardinals are going up against the Houston Texans, and I don't anticipate that to be a tough matchup to where they need Rondale a lot. And I'm never advocating playing Mark Ingram. I'm sorry. He just seems like... It seems like that's a recipe for 12 rushes for 40 yards. And I'm not keen on having a 4-point week. So, I would go Alex Collins. Damon Luce, what's going on? Mike Davis, Khalil Herbert, J.D. McKissick, or Rashad Bateman at flex. What's the scoring, bro? Let me know the scoring, and I'll answer your question. Nick Rizzo, yeah, bro, I love Kadarius Toney. I love him too. It just sucks he got injured. But I mean, 13 targets, caught 10 of them against Trayvon Diggs. Playing half the game with Mike Lennon. You kidding me? Yeah, kid's got a bright future, and I was not seeing it. I did not see it coming into the year. I thought he had one of the worst profiles of any wide receiver, first-round wide receiver in a while. I thought he was going to end up like a John Ross, just be one of those first-round guys that turns into a gadget player at the next level, a Tavon Austin, somebody like that. And boy, was I wrong. People were comparing him to Tyreek Hill, and while I'm not comparing anybody to Tyreek Hill, the comparisons are at least warranted based on what we've seen from Kadarius Toney. So I'm kind of pissed I traded away Kadarius Toney for James Robinson. And while I'm not pissed I got James Robinson, I am a little pissed that I traded away Kadarius Toney in favor of one of the other rookies I have on my squad. So, took a hit there. I like Kadarius long term. Kyle Nohe, what's going on? Hey, you're welcome, bro. Thanks for tuning in 2.5 hours later. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm still going. Godwin and Brown there. You have Godwin fired up, but you're also starting Tannehill at QB. Does that change the stack at all? The analysis at all? So Chris Godwin, I'm looking at your original question again. 10-man leagues stacked at wide receiver. You have the Tannehill stack. Is it enough to give AJ Brown the edge over Godwin? Oof. These are the tough questions. The floor play is Godwin, the ceiling play is Brown, because the ceiling, and obviously the ceiling play could also be Godwin on this week. Especially if Nick was right and OJ Howard is a little banged up too, because then it's really just Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and then Leonard Fournette, and maybe Gio, and obviously the ancillary options in that passing attack. But with the stack, I'm going upside. I'm always inclined to go with the stack. I'm going AJ Brown and Tannehill, bro. But, I mean, that is such a tough question because I expect Godwin to have a huge week this week. Huge week. Nick Rizzo, should I pick up Bateman and drop Ayuk? Yep. Is it to start this week? Do you need to start this week? Are you going to start Bateman this week? I like Bateman long term. I don't know if it's enough. Damn. Yo, you're in Hawaii, yo, bro? Damn, that's crazy. Thanks for tuning in from Hawaii, Kaunohi. That's crazy. What island, bro? I've always wanted to go out to Hawaii. Always wanted to go out to Hawaii. It's one of my dream destinations. Maybe I'll get there one day. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, man, I hope you win your matchup this week. But I'm if you got the stack, the matchup can't beat the matchup as far as a tandem of a quarterback and his number one wide receiver trying to put up points against KC. I know Julio Jones is there. You gotta go with the stack, even though it's hard to swerve away from Godwin this week. I mean, is it a start one wide receiver league? Who's your other wide receiver? Because I might advocate starting Godwin over that wide receiver. Let me know, Kaunohi. But thanks for tuning in from Hawaii. That's pretty dope. Damian Luce, also standard format in another league. And you said standard format before that. So that's standard for Mike Davis, Herbert, J.D. McKissick, or Bateman at flex. If it's standard, I believe I'm going Herbert. I think I'm going Herbert there. And your second question there, also standard format in another league. I need a flex. Gibson, Connor, Pittman, or Higgins. My starters are Kupp, Moore at wide receiver, Darrell Williams, and Kamara at running back. So you need a flex. I mean, it's going to be a James Conner game. It's going to be a Pittman game. It's one of those two over Higgins for sure, but you got Gibson too. Ooh, this is tough. Standard format, I'm going Connor or Gibson. And really, it's like a matchup-based thing. Do you think it's going to be a Connor day with Arizona playing Houston? Or do you think they're going to, that Washington is going to rely on Gibson while he's healthy against Green Bay? That's really tough. I think you go Gibson because I'm never one to count on James Conner. I know he's had a few 2-touchdown games, and I know last year and over the past 18 games that Kenyon Drake was an Arizona Cardinal. He played that James Conner role, the role that he's playing in right now, and he was one of the league leaders in touchdowns week to week. So, I mean, and he that led to him being a top 15 running back in fantasy, having that role. And we've seen that play out with James Conner thus far. He gets those goal line work, that goal line work, and Kyler Murray gets into the goal line almost at will sometimes. That's why this is so tough, because, I mean, it's really hard to sit Gibson, but if there's any week to sit Gibson, it's a week that Arizona's playing Houston. What does the chat think? There's 6 people in here. Let me know. That's tough. That's real tough. But I think I missed some questions up here when I was answering Kaunohi's question. Nick Rizzo, yeah. Pick up Bateman, drop Ayuk. I mean, I would. Wouldn't feel great. In a season-long league, I would. In a dynasty league, I'm guessing it's season-long. But, yeah, I guess I would. He has shown just as much as a role as Ayuk in one game. I mean, Ayuk... yeah. I don't know why I'm was going to extrapolate there. Bateman's role is pretty much equitable to Ayuk right now, and I would go Bateman. Xavier Dubs, what's going on? Flex Devonta Freeman got snatched before I could get him. Should I play Mark Ingram? PPR flex. I believe this is in conjunction with your question above. Still going Alex Collins. Yep. Nick Rezzo, how's your fantasy team doing this year? Man, sometimes it's I'm in a lot. In a season-long keeper league I'm in, it's not looking good. Selling my assets for keepers for next season already. I'm not one to give up, but when you're 2-4 and your opponent has already put up a good 14 points on you with one player, yeah, happens. But in a couple of dynasty leagues, I'm one of the league leaders. So you win some, you lose some. I did not draft well in season-long leagues this year, but hoping to change that moving forward. But thanks for asking. How about you, Nick? How are you doing in your leagues? Let's get back to some of these other questions, though. I believe I didn't give you an answer on Gibson or Connor, Damian Luce. I'm still putting that out to the chat. Who's chat going with? If you got a choice between Connor against Houston or Gibson against Green Bay, let me know. I think you should keep your starters the same, though. I think that's straight. Yeah, I think you're fine there. Edgar Vera, hey, you're welcome, bro. Yeah, I'd have faith in Gibson. Yo, DeErnest, you had DeErnest. Did you pick him up based off of one of our videos? What was the deciding factor for you picking up DeErnest? He did great last week. He did great this past week. Colton Cash, what's going on? Woods or Myers, PPR, Woods. And Callaway or Corey Davis, half PPR. I'd go Corey Davis. Chris M7, what's going on, bro? Just woke up. Hey, welcome to the world. What's going on, bro? You got any questions for us? Stephen X, what's going on? How many points do you think Terry McLaurin? How many points do you think Terry McLaurin is getting? I think this is another boom week for Terry McLaurin. I mean, he's playing Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers, when he's on and linked up with his wide receivers, can put up points at will on anybody. The problem has been with Green Bay is the pace of play has gone into the tank, so that's not great. But regardless, I mean, Terry McLaurin's going to be relied upon to be the number one weapon for this team against Green Bay. So I think this is a boom week for Terry. I mean, for however long Gibson's banged up and Thomas is banged up. That's yeah. I mean, I think Terry is going to have a good week this week. Chuck Mann rolling with Connor this week. I have them both. Hoping the football team sits him for 2 weeks. Will be a beast down the stretch if healthy. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be rolling with Connor this week too. I mean, and Chris M7, you agree? This is about as Connery a week you can have. Connery, ha. Yeah, I think it's as good a week to start Connor as any. I hope that helps Damon Luce. I know it's never easy sitting a stud like Gibson, but I mean, you might have to just say screw it and go Connor. This is the 1 week that I'm advocating starting Connor. I'm never advocating starting Connor over Gibson when they're both healthy. Feels kind of crazy to be doing it anyway. But Hamza Germati, what's going on? You agree? Or no, you don't agree. You say Gibson against Green Bay. Wow. All right. Well, why? Put in the chat why. Let's make a conversation out of this. This is an intriguing discussion. What's going on, Jason? What's poppin'? So, Chris M7, your thoughts on Dylan today? I'm forced to play him as my RB2 due to buys. It's not a bad play. I mean, he has had more of a pass catching role than I thought he would this season. He's kind of more and more taken on that Jamal Williams role in this offense. They have not shied away from giving him work on the ground too. And obviously, if anything were to happen to Aaron Jones, Dylan would have an RB1 workload on his hands. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with playing Dylan this week. I think that's a pretty decent bye week fill-in. Slim, yeah, hey, good luck to everybody out there. Good luck to everybody out there this week. I hope I helped you with your start-sit decisions. Hopefully you'll win based on everything I've told you today. Hopefully I won't be hearing any sob stories come Tuesday. But the dazed full PPR, Mooney or Ruggs this week. I'm going Ruggs. Ruggs has been great this year. One of the league leaders in air yards, and that's something I chase. So I'm going Ruggs. Though Mooney, this is a good week for Mooney too. He's not a bad play this week, going up against Tampa Bay. But I'd go Ruggs. Trey S. Morning, fellas. What's going on, bro? Full PPR start 2. Elijah Mitchell, Chase Edmonds, and Allen Robinson or Pittman Jr. Thanks. Full PPR start 2. If I think it's a James Conner week enough to go Conner over Gibson this week, then I'm not going to say it's a good week to start Chase Edmonds this week. So really it's between Elijah Mitchell, Allen Robinson, or Michael Pittman. Full PPR. Pittman for sure. Upside play is Allen Robinson. Floor play is Elijah Mitchell. I think that's what I'd go with there. But any more questions? We got 18 minutes before kickoff. 18 minutes. Let me know. Did anybody in the chat watch the movie Juwanna Mann lately? No. Still on my list to check out again. Slim Reaper, Pettis or Van Jefferson? I mean, I'm going Van Jefferson over Pettis. I mean, I know Pettis has done well in spot start duties because there's nobody else in that offense that was catching target or getting targets. I would still go Van Jefferson. With Pettis, you're just hoping for volume. And Van Jefferson's actually like a really skilled wide receiver and a really good offense. So I would go Van Jefferson over Pettis and hope for Van Jefferson from the first few weeks of the season where he was like really on fire. That points production came at the expense of Robert Woods. So as we've seen Robert Woods become more of an important part of this offense, we've kind of seen Van Jefferson dip back a little bit. But if I'm going, I mean, Pettis or Van Jefferson, that's Van Jefferson. Gotta go Van Jefferson. And yo, Juwanna Mann is underrated. We were talking movies earlier. Talking Dune. But Juwanna Mann is still on my list. I still gotta check it out again. Because yeah, I haven't seen it since I was like 13. But it's on Nick's list as well. We both gotta watch that. And yo, I know Pettis got 11 targets last week, man, but it's Dante Pettis. And it's the New York Giants. And the only reason he's seeing that amount of volume is Kenny Galladay's out, Sterling Shepard's out, like everybody's out. So yeah, he's getting volume, but I like Van Jefferson that much more. I just do. And I know maybe the smart play is to chase the amount of targets he got last week because he has just as good a chance to put up the same amount of targets this week because of the current options that are healthy available to the New York Giants. but I gotta go Van Jefferson. Much better offense. Much better player prospect. Yeah. Chris M7, what role do you think JaMychal Hasty will carve out coming back from his injury? I currently own Mitchell. I think it'll be small to begin with. I think he was always more of a role player in this offense, playing basically goal line back. So I think he picks up a few goal line touches. So Elijah Mitchell might not have the same touchdown upside this week as he has the past few weeks. Or the potential for touchdown upside. He could still get some goal line work, but I think that is where JaMychal Hasty. That's where San Francisco wants to use JaMychal Hasty. I mean, one, in an effort to keep Mitchell fresh, and two, just because JaMychal Hasty's been a pretty good and effective goal line back over the past few seasons. So I think that's the role that JaMychal Hasty carves out. I don't know if he gets all the goal line work week 1 or this week coming back from injury. But he's going to carve out a role. Knowing how Shanahan uses running backs, he's going to carve out a role. Chris Mack, Josh Jacobs or Miles Sanders? So both of them right now are being used as the team's primary back. For some reason, Miles Sanders hasn't been given touches consistently by the coaching staff, be that game plan or game script or be that what it may. But when given the touches, I mean, last week against Tampa Bay, 1 touch for 1 yard before halftime, and then after halftime, he just started gashing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he out-touched Myles Gaskin 11-1. They're obviously playing together, playing each other this week. Josh Jacobs, he's just had a much more consistent role over the past few weeks. He's been consistently getting the work. Has he been super impressive with it? No, but he's getting touchdowns with it. That's what counts. So I think, while I'm very high on Miles Sanders over the next few weeks and for the rest of the season, based off of the defenses he's going to be playing, his schedule opens up like no other back this year, and I think he returns to RB2 value. But I think this week, despite the fact that the Las Vegas Raiders are 13th right now in fantasy points average to opposing running backs, I would play Josh Jacobs. Because Sanders hasn't gotten a touchdown all season. Josh Jacobs can have 2 in a game. And I believe he did last week, or came close. So, Josh Jacobs this week, but I'm very high on Miles Sanders going forward. Thanks for tuning in, Chris Mack. Thanks for your questions. Hell yeah. Hope I helped. Hope I helped win you a week. Slim Reaper, Matt Ryan, Tua Tagovailoa, or Ryan Tannehill? I'm inclined to go Tua or Tannehill. And with Tua, you're hoping that he links up like he did with Waddle again. With Tannehill, you're hoping they don't rely so much on Derrick Henry, which is never going to happen. You're hoping that the Chiefs find their way on offense to the point where it forces the Titans to air it out. Safe play is Tua, upside play is Tannehill. If the Chiefs find their way on offense and force Tannehill to air it out, I believe in Tannehill's weapons more than I believe in Tua's. But Tua's a safe play, I believe. High upside, I'd go Tannehill. But yo, you guys, I'm going to be shutting this down 10 minutes early. I ran out of coffee. Been doing this for almost 3 hours. I am a little bit fatigued and want to just cool down and watch some football, you guys. Know what I mean? So, thanks for tuning in, everybody that tuned in. Thanks for everybody that participated in the chat. Thanks to everybody who super chatted. Much appreciated. You know, you guys don't even know how much that's appreciated. But basically anybody that's supporting the channel in any way, whether that be with your chats, the likes, subscribes, watches on the videos, super chats, whatever, we appreciate you tuning in. And we hope you guys enjoy watching football today and win all your matchups. And tune in with us on Tuesday, 6 to 6:30 p.m. We'll have a waiver wire stream for you. And as always, fantasy content every day, so tune in. But enjoy Football Sunday, you guys. And see you next week.